Sleep autonomy is one of the most talked about and most misunderstood concepts in infant sleep. Because for many families, autonomy has come to mean leaving the baby alone. But that's not what we talk about here. I'm Marina Friend, a child and infant sleep specialist. And on this channel, we don't start with methods. We start with understanding a baby's sleep language before trying to intervene. Because sleep only makes sense when it's read in context. If you've been following this channel, you have noticed that we don't begin with rules or techniques. We begin with observation, with regulation, with reading the baby in front of us. And sleep autonomy only makes sense when it grows from that reading. Let's start by clarifying what sleep autonomy is not. Sleep autonomy is not the absence of presence, ignoring crying, expecting a baby to self-regulate before they are developmentally ready, applying the same strategy to every baby. None of that builds autonomy. It builds adaptation. A baby doesn't become autonomous when they learn that no one is coming, when they feel abandoned. They become autonomous when they feel safe enough to rest, with the certainty that if they need someone, someone will come. Safety doesn't grow from silence or emotional withdrawal. It grows from presence, predictability, and consistent attuned responses. That is how trust is built, and trust is what makes real autonomy possible. So what is sleep autonomy? Sleep autonomy is the baby's ability to fall asleep without unnecessary intervention and to move between sleep cycles feeling safe enough not to need immediate support. And by unnecessary, I don't mean without support. I mean without intervention that overrides the baby's actual needs. But stay with me here. Sleep autonomy is the ability to fall asleep or resettle peacefully with the confidence that support is available if needed. It looks like a relaxed body, a nervous system that feels safe enough to let go. But autonomy isn't something we teach, it's something we build together. And it depends on neurological development, temperament, sensitivity, the sleep environment, emotional safety, and the relationship with the caregiver. That's why autonomy has no deadline and no formula. There are gentle, respectful paths to build autonomy, and none of them involve leaving a baby alone to figure things out before they're ready. So it's important to remember this. Presence does not get in the way of autonomy. Presence supports autonomy. When a baby knows they can rely on the adult, they don't need to fight sleep. They can surrender to it. Now let's talk about nighttime sleep. A common misconception is the belief that a baby must fall asleep independently in order to sleep through the night without support. That sleep autonomy is the only path to better sleep. And that's far from the truth. Some babies fall asleep with presence, feeding, touch, movement, reassurance, and still sleep for long, consolidated stretches of a night. Other babies fall asleep independently and continue to need support during night wakings. These two things are not directly connected. How a baby falls asleep at the beginning of the night does not reliably predict whether they will need support later on or not. Sustainable, peaceful nighttime sleep develops when a baby's individual needs are met and they feel safe enough in their environment, in their relationships, safe in the certainty that support is available if needed. Not when support is removed, but when security is established. In my clinical work, I often see babies who technically sleep alone, but sleep in a state of tension. Their sleep is shallow, they experience frequent wakings, and they still require significant support overnight. And I also see babies who receive presence, attunement, and consistent responses, and they develop genuine sleep autonomy. Not because they were pushed, but because they felt secure. Sleep autonomy is not the absence of presence. It's enough safety that there is no need to call. and how parents guide this process can make all the difference. Because this doesn't mean adjustments aren't important. It means they need to be made with awareness, respect, and careful reading of the baby. When we truly understand autonomy, it becomes very difficult to believe that sleep is something that a baby needs to be taught. Sleeping isn't a lesson. If sleep autonomy sounds like distance to you, it might be time to rethink what the word really means. Here, autonomy walks hand in hand with presence. If this perspective resonates with you, stay here. This space is for families who want rest without sacrificing connection.